Okay, so we're on 11-1 to begin as a warm-up. Number 5, what did you get? 12n, good. You combine the numbers in front, but you do not change the exponents. Number 6, you don't change the exponents. This one just had n to the first. Number 6, negative 2, n to the fourth, and n still, okay? The variable doesn't change. What we're doing is we're counting up how many of each do we have. How many of these groups, mn to the fourth and mn to the fourth, how many of those groups do we have? 1 minus 3 of them, so we have negative 2. So you keep this as a group and you don't change it. Can you guys twist that knob, please? Make sure it's not locked. Twist it open, please. So number 7, we got 4, take away 1. What do we have? 3x to the third. Number 8. Good. A to the third, b to the second does not change. You're just counting up how many of them you have total, and 4 and 12 make 16 of them. Okay? Because it was a positive 1 and a minus 3. And those aren't the exponent rules, those are just the coefficients. Backside, number 5. All right, stop talking, please. Number 5, nothing's negative, but all of the variables and exponents match. So we just have a total of how many? 9. 9m n to the fourth. That's the group. Number 6, we have a total of how many? 5. Good. 12 minus 7, and then you have g squared. 5 of them. And then number 7? 1. C to the fourth, d to the first. And when you don't put a 1 in front, it's already there. Okay, questions on that? All right, turn the page, please, to 11-3 this time. And you don't have homework tonight because tomorrow in class, I'm not going to be here, and you're going to be doing IXL first, and then you'll be doing the homework tomorrow, okay? Now, here's the important thing right here, 11-3. Here's the important thing. There is more than one way to do these kind of problems. And in 18 or so years, there's no reason to turn around and be talking to someone behind you. You need to be listening, please. In 18 or more years of going over this with people, this is the way that I found is the most clear. Okay, some of you don't want to make this box. That's okay. Do it for notes. See if it makes sense. If you already remember another way, something's called FOIL and other ways with arrows, you can do that. I don't mind what method you use. But I'm not going to teach all those different ways because I feel that that makes some people confused. This way is clear-cut and straightforward. Okay? So first of all, for number 1, there's 2 groups here. See how it's 2 by 2? Well, I made a box of 2 by 2. And so across the first row, you have a 4r and a minus 5. So just write it out right here. 4r minus 5 with 2 columns because there were 2 terms. What do you think is going to go down here? And minus 6. Good. 7r is the first one and then minus 6. Okay, all you're doing is like yesterday, you're going to be multiplying and then combining like terms. But the thing is that you have to make sure that you conclude everything by everything. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. All right. So go ahead and multiply each row by each column, and then make sure that you have everything, all the exponents and everything included. This is multiplication. So you multiply the coefficients, you add the exponents. So we're going to do 4r times 7r. And for this first one, I'm going to kind of do it with shading just so you know what we're doing. We're doing this row by this row. Okay, 4r times 7r. What do we get? Good, 28r squared. R times r. Then you have to do this one. Negative 5 times this one. And what do we get for that one? and then just an r. Good. Negative 35, and then just an r. Negative 7 times, positive 7 times negative 5. Okay, if you just multiply each row by each column, you will have made sure that you didn't leave anything out. Some people, they multiply 3 things, but they forget about the 4th one. You want to make sure that you include them all. So now it's 4r times negative 6. What does that make? Negative 24r. And then this one? Positive 30. Negative 5 times negative 6 makes positive 30. You can put a plus sign there if you want, or you can just keep it positive. Now, the only thing left to do is to make sure that you write it in standard form, combining any like terms. So what's the highest exponent we have just inside the boxes? Good, so it's going to be 28r squared. That's the highest exponent. Now, what's the next highest? Just the r, 24r and 35r. They are like terms, so we have to combine them. And we have a 24, and we're going to add to that. Is that the plus sign? Right, but I'm going to add, and then I'm going to keep the same sign. So I add them together, I have 59, but since the negative plus a negative, I'm going to make it negative 59. You add and keep the sign. If one's opposite from the other, then you subtract and keep the bigger sign. And then this 30 has nothing to combine with, so I make it plus 30 since there's no negative in front of it. And that's all you do. You multiply all the columns and all the rows, and then you write it in standard form. Yeah, that's another way. Okay. All right, and there are other ways. And if you do it other ways, that's okay, as long as your answers are coming out right. All right, so number 2, make it m plus 5. And you can just say positive 5 if you want, or you can say plus 5. It's okay. M plus 5 across the top, and across the left-hand side, we have 6m and minus 4. So all you have to do is each row by each column. 6m times m. What do we have? Good. All right, then 6m times the 5 makes? Good. Concentrate, please. And then the m times the negative 4. You're multiplying. Negative 4m. And then negative 4 times positive 5. This time it's a negative. Good. All that's left to do is write it in standard form. The highest one is 6m squared. Combine the ones that are the same. 30m minus 4m. Subtract and keep the sign of the bigger number. And then the negative 20 has nothing to go with it. Just rewrite it like yesterday's. All right, before we go on, I want you to notice something. See how this was a negative 5? That top row is also negative 5. See how this was a positive 4? This top row is also positive. Positive, positive, negative, negative. Same thing here. This negative creates a negative in the first row, but positive, 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 positive. That's going to affect us next week. All right, let me do 2 more with you, then you try 2 on your own, and then we'll see if you had another way of doing it. For this one, let's do 3 and then 7. 6m plus 8n. Don't worry about the fact that there's 2 variables. Everything else is the same. 6m plus 8n, then 4m plus 3n. And that positive 3n. Okay, but just like you did yesterday, if you have 2 different variables, that's okay. You just treat them separately. You multiply the numbers in front, you combine the variables. So 6 times 4 would be 24. M times m is m squared. This time you have 4m, and you have 8n this time. It's not m times m. What would that come out to be? Good. 32, n to the first, and n to the first. They don't have anything to add with it. It's just m and then n. What about this one? You do your 6m times your 3n. What does that one come out to be? 18mn. Good. And then this last one, 3n and 8n. That one's n to the second. Good. Because it's an n to the first and an n to the first. When the variables match, you add up the exponents. And then you just write it in standard form. 24 n squared plus, these are all positive, 32 plus 18, does that make 50? Thank you. 50 mn. That's what both of those terms are. They have n times n. And then the last one is 24n squared. Questions on that? All right, and number 7. Anyone still writing on number 5? Okay, number 7. This time you have 2 by 3. And if you do it by boxes, that won't confuse you. If you do it other ways, just make sure that you keep them all straight. So across the 3 top rows, I put my 4a squared and my minus 5a and my positive 5. But where there's only 2, I put my 6a minus 6. Okay, if you just multiply 3 by 2 this time, you just make sure that everything gets multiplied and then write it in standard form. Okay, so when variables match, we add their exponents. 4 times 6 is 24. A squared times a is a to the third. Good. Those two multiplied together. Let's go down this time. 4a squared times negative 6. Negative 24a what? Squared. Good. Now do your negative 5a times each of these. 6a times negative 5a? A squared, that's right. Negative 30a squared. And then when we have negative 5a times negative 6, negative 5 times negative 6 this time makes positive 30. And what's going to happen to our a's? A to the first. A to the first, and there's no a here to add in with it. This one, positive 6a times positive 5 would be positive 30a. And then negative 6 times positive 5 would be negative 30. Okay, so multiply the coefficients. When the variables match, add them. When the variables don't match, then just put them together. Last thing is standard form. Highest exponent first. 24a to the third. That's the highest, just like yesterday. And I'm going to just go ahead and cross that off because I want to make sure that I included them all. Okay, what's next to write? A squared, and we have negative 30 and negative 24 on the a squared. What does that make? Say it again. Negative 54. Good. Add and keep the negative sign. Negative 54 a squared. I did those two together. Now we have a positive 30a and a positive 30a. Let me just fix this little thing right here. Hold on. All right, so positive 30a and positive 30a would be 60a, and minus 30 stands alone. Okay, if you do it with arrows and you double distribute, that's fine. You can show me that you know how to do that, as long as your answers are coming out right and you're lining up all the like terms. Okay? Any questions on how to do that? The numbering. So try number 4 and number 8. 4. I got 28x squared minus 45xy and minus 7y squared. So you had to keep them all straight and combine the ones that go together. I got 5p to the third, and then I combined these together, got negative 37p squared. Combined those together, got 29p, and combined that one with nothing and kept it as negative 6. But right now, do 2, 4, and 6.